I am fostering 3 kittens for St. Louis Pet Rescue. I started fostering for them last summer when I rescued 3 kittens in my neighborhood. And the Saturday before last, a neighbor come knocking on my door and said, "Hey, there's kittens running around my neighbor's porch." And they were feral. We trapped them. It took a couple hours, but my husband managed to trap them in our live trap. And it took about 3 days for them to come around and let us hold them. But it was a quick turnaround because we keep them with us pretty much 24/7. It's just not when we're sleeping, of course, but any other time they have humans around them, so they get used to humans. So what I do, this is our 3rd batch, so I'm just telling you what works for me, is this is a human 2-person tent I got from Walmart. This is the same one we used with our first batch, and we'll keep using it until it gets, too destroyed. I love these tents because if they make a mess, it's easy to clean up. There's no kittens right now because I just vacuumed out the tent. The kittens are in my husband's office playing with him because, the loud noises would scare the kittens. So I vacuum the tent out once a day because they do tend to make a little mess, spill some food, get litter on their feet. So they are using regular kitty litter. I actually prefer the pellets for kittens because kittens can eat kitty litter and that's bad for them. So you get bigger pellets, and that's what I normally use. But these kittens were feral and they were 11 weeks when I thought they were 8 weeks. And so sometimes feral kittens don't understand the pellets because the pellets are bigger, and so they would not go to the bathroom in the pellets. They just went to the bathroom anywhere in the tent. And so once I added the extra kitty litter, they instantly knew what this was because it's like sand, out in wild. They go in dirt and sand. So they got used to that. So unfortunately, they could never get used to the pellets. But if you have kittens, I recommend the pellets because they won't eat the pellets. But anyway, that's just tips. I'm just sharing tips with you with my experience through fostering kittens. So these 3 kittens, we just got evaluated last Saturday. They are 11 weeks, 2 boys and a girl, and they can get fixed at the end of the month. I just took in some poop samples, and so we're waiting to make sure they don't have any contagious like worms or anything. And once that comes all clear, then they can start playing with my house cats, my forever cats. But these 3 kittens definitely won't be put up for adoption. I just can't keep any more cats. The first batch I rescued last summer, I ended up keeping all of them. I just can't keep doing that. So my second batch, we got adopted out, no problem. And I have fostered some adult cats that have been adopted out. And so I feel good about these 3 kittens. Even though they were feral, they turned around pretty quickly because I have this in my office. I work in my office. So I was constantly holding them. They're just, even if I'm not holding them, they're used to me being in here. And I think that is important, trying to tame ferals. It doesn't work just shoving them in a kennel and sitting all day. You got to interact. And so again, this is just through my experience. And so that's why I think I had a great turnaround with these kittens. But you know what? Let me go get them or go see how they're doing in Robert's office. Anyway, so I keep them in this tent until they are 4 pounds. They just weighed in at 3 pounds. For another month, they will be in this tent. And then at 4 pounds, I move them to a larger tent that is like an 8-person tent that is as big as my room, my formal dining room downstairs. The formal dining room doesn't have doors, and that's why I keep them in the tent. It gives them plenty of space to run around in. It's just with kittens, there's too many places for them to hide in my house. So they do not get free reign in my house until they are fixed and bigger, and I know that they will interact with my forever cats perfectly fine. And then once, but at that point, they're adoptable, and hopefully they'll get adopted quickly. If it takes for a while to get adopted, then they do get free reign of my house. But like I said, this is my 3rd batch, and I've had pretty good luck with the kittens getting adopted pretty quickly. So just sharing in case you were interested how fostering kittens work, and you can do what works for you. I know some fosters, they have an extra room in their house and they can just put the kittens and let the kittens free reign in like a spare bedroom. I don't have a spare bedroom because my spare bedroom is my office. Some people just put them in a big kennel. Some people just leave them in the bathroom. I like to be around them 24/7. And so that's why they are in this tent in my office, and they love it. They love their tent. They love having their own space. I will leave the door open when I'm in here, and they will run around the office and then they go back into their tent. So it's not cruel. It gives them their own space and plenty of room to run around in. And this is what works for me. Hello, kittens. We still haven't named them. It's Robert's. I named the first 2 batches, so Robert's going to name this batch. He's thinking about naming them characters from the monsters. So this would be Elsa. One would be Herman, and one would be Charlie. So Herman had a brother, Charlie, and then Herman Monster also had a sister, Elsa. That's just his idea so far, but he's not completely sold on it. I'm like, whatever you wanna name them. I don't know if you just heard him yelling. He's dealing with so our forever cats are feeling a little unloved because our office doors are normally open and they've been closed. But hopefully tonight I'll be able to leave the office door open. We just don't want the kittens around the adult cats until we know that they don't have contagious worms. So not all fecal worms are visible. There's no visible worms, but there are still, since they were, outdoors for 11 weeks, they could have other types of worms. But again, I dropped the poop sample off this morning. Now we're just waiting to make sure. And if they're all clear, then I can introduce them to my forever cats. If they're not all clear, that just means we got to go pick up some more medicine and keep them separated for a little bit longer. But they are doing amazing from how they were when we first rescued them. Are you gonna hide from me? No pets? All right. That one's I call Mr. Spicy. That's Mr. Friendly, and then Scaredy Cat. But, so yeah, the gray one's a girl, and the 2 black kittens are boys. You guys are just too darn cute. Yes, you are.